you may need to use Solidworks to finish your projects. So I'll show you how to use Solidworks remotely. Turns out you can run Solidworks on a server in West Lafayette. Now, ITAP, which is the Information Technology at Purdue group, they provide computer services for a lot of main campus and for all Purdue students. They have what's called software remote, and I'll just demonstrate it for you. I'll take you there. If you type goremote.itap.purdue.edu, it'll take you to this site where you only have to log in using your career account information. So it's as if I'm sitting down at a lab machine and I just type in my login, my password, no two-factor authentication here, and then once I log in, I can search for Solidworks, and rather than running Solidworks on my local laptop here or your local device, whether you're using this on an iPad or a Mac or a PC, rather than running Solidworks on that device, you can run Solidworks essentially on a server in West Lafayette. So I just went over to Apps and searched for Solidworks, and once I found it, all you have to do is click on it. It'll open up in a new window, and I don't remember, there may be some Citrix software you have to install. I don't remember now. It's been a long time that I've been using this. But I'm using an older computer right now. My laptop is, I don't know, 10, 12 years old, something like that. And, excuse me. Let me answer this quickly. Definition of the buttons, answer yes. Yeah, I don't care, that's fine. But Solidworks runs just fine because it's not really running on my laptop. It's running on a server in West Lafayette. And so all I'm really doing is using a client or a terminal basically to access the server. And this splash screen that you see is just the splash screen for Solidworks starting up on the server. Error on the script, keep running, yeah, it doesn't matter. All right, so now you see that I'm running Solidworks in a browser window. So it's not, again, it's not Solidworks running on this machine. It's Solidworks running on a server in West Lafayette. You can do all the usual things you do. You can create a part, create an assembly, create a drawing, whatever you need to do to get your work done. And it runs fairly well. It's not slow. I could make a part. Let's just make a quick sketch, put it on the top plane, and make our favorite, just a real quick rectangle that's extruded. I don't really care what size it is, but I guess I'll go ahead and throw some dimensions on it for the sake of the video. Let's make it an inch. I think we're in inches. Yeah, inch pound seconds. We'll make it an inch by 2 inches. Why not? Exit the sketch. Feature. We'll just extrude this. Nothing really interesting at all. I don't know. Let's make it 4 inches tall. Who cares? So now I've got the part, right? This is my part that I want to turn in. What would I do? Well, I can save it, and if I hit save, there's a couple different options here. First of all, if you hit save to my device, let me show you what happens. Let's name it Silly Box Project. Okay, let's say I want to save that to my local device. I hit save. What it does is in your browser, it just automatically downloads it. So here's the file down here. I can open it up locally if I want to. I can save it. I can submit it, turn it in. Let's say I don't want to do that. Let's say I want to save it and keep working on it later. Well, what you might notice when you hit the Save dialog box, here, let me choose Save As because it just re-downloaded. When you choose to save it, you might notice, well, let's see, we got the hard drive here. It looks like there's two different ones. You've got a CD-ROM drive and then two network drives. And your first impression or your first reaction might be, well, I'd like to save it on the C drive, or I'd like to save it on a thumb drive. Here we go. So I've got a thumb drive. If I put this thumb drive in my local computer, my laptop, it will not appear here. The reason is because these drives are the drives associated with that server. They're physically mounted on the server. So the only way I can get the files is by saving it to one of two places that are actually network storage, or like I said, download it to my local device. Now you might say, well, why wouldn't I want to just download it? Well, you might not be finished with your project. You might want to keep working on it later. So I would suggest just saving things to your drive, your network drive. Now you actually have two, and you may not realize that. One of them is serviced to you by ECN, which is the Engineering Computer Network. The other one is served to you by ITAP, Information Technology at Purdue, which is the larger overarching computer services group. Anyway, these two are network drives, and as soon as you log into the Citrix server with your login and password, it attaches these network drives just like if you were in a lab. It attaches those network drives automatically. So these network drives are associated with you. Now, what if you have some files, say on a network drive, well, not a network drive, but on a thumb drive or on your local computer or something that you want to open in SolidWorks on this server? Well, now we have a small problem, because what you really need to do is have access to your network drives. Like I said, there's no way to plug in your thumb drive, for example, into your laptop and open up files in SolidWorks directly. What you have to do instead is somehow transfer those files to your network drives and then open from there. You might say, okay, well, that's well and good. I could go to the computer labs at school and log into a lab machine and plug in the thumb drive. Only problem with that is right now we can't do that. So, and besides, you may not want to. It might be more convenient to work on things from home. And by the way, there's more than just SolidWorks available. There are a lot of other programs. You may have noticed I had to do a search for SolidWorks because there were so many things, so many options. So how do you get these two network drives set up on your local computer so that you can put files in there, take them out, whatever you want to do? Well, I'll show you. Notice there's a U drive on ECN and a W drive, and I'm claiming that that is from ITAP. Well, let me show you some links and some information that you'll need. I'm going to cancel this. We don't really need SolidWorks anymore. I'm just going to close it, leave the site, and I'll close GoRemote because we don't need that anymore. What you do need, however, and I've got links to all these below this video, you need to set up what's called a virtual private network. And all that really means is that you need a secure connection to Purdue. Now, I set one up a long time ago, and normally my VPN connection software is running over here in the system tray. I've shut it off so I can demonstrate as much of this as possible. But here's the site you need to go to, itap.purdue.edu/connections/VPN. And what you'll need to do is go to Community Hub and download the Cisco AnyConnect software and install it on your local machine. Once you do that, you can connect to this server, webvpn2.purdue.edu, and then once you've connected, then you'll be using a virtual private network and you'll be able to set up and access your network drives. Now, one thing to note, getting into GoRemote was pretty easy with our login and password, but, well, I tell you what, I'll just demonstrate it for you. Let me, excuse me, I've already installed the software a long time ago, like I said. Let me start the AnyConnect software. Pardon me, I'm sorry. When I start that software, I've already got it set up with the server, and I don't remember exactly how I had to do that. I think I just typed it in. I know that we used to use webvpn.purdue.edu without the two in it, and with everybody getting online so much in the recent week or so, that server was overloaded and they started this WebVPN 2. So all I had to do was go into this box and add a 2 after it and then hit connect. When you do that, when you hit connect, it takes a little while, but here you're going to have to use two-factor authentication. Why this is different than GoRemote, I don't know, but here it is. So for me, I know a lot of you guys use Duo on your smartphone. I don't have a smartphone. I've got this little boiler key. So I have to type in a 4-digit PIN that I've selected and then the boiler key. Let's see, right now that's this number. I hope I typed it right. When I hit OK, it should connect to the VPN, well, set up a VPN session for me. And when that happens, I'll show you what we do from there. But basically, it's just establishing a secure connection with Purdue for our security. There we go. Okay, so now I'm connected, and now I don't need this page anymore. What I want to do, however, is set up the network drives, and I've purposely disconnected one of them so I could demonstrate that. Now, I've already got the ECN drive set up, but let me demonstrate how you set up the ITAP drive or your home drive. Now, I couldn't find a good guide for this on ITAP's website. I kept going in circles. I happened to find an Instructable, of all things, that actually works very well. And again, I'll post this link. But if you just follow this, it's easy. It works great. It says go to my computer and then click Map Network Drive. Now, if I'm using Windows 7. If you're not using Windows 7, it may be a little bit different. You can't go over here and right-click. It's not there. What you have to do is literally right-click on Computer and choose Map Network Drive, at least in Windows 7. And I'll show you where you might go for other versions of Windows and Mac OS, etc. here in just a moment. So once I hit that, I'm going to go ahead and call it the W drive because that's what it's usually called on campus. But if you go back and you look at the instructable, the address you need to connect to is //myhome.itap.purdue.edu /myhome/ and then username. Let me copy this and paste it. And then my username, of course, is dsysk. Okay, so that's what I have to do. The other thing that it tells you have to do is select connect using different credentials. So I'll do that, and then I'll hit finish, and then it asks me for the credentials. Now you got to be careful here because the credentials are one Purdue / and then your career account username. So one Purdue /dsysk, and then all I have to do is type in my career account password just as if I was logging into a lab machine again. No two-factor authentication here. So once I hit OK, it's thinking about it, and there it goes. So now I'm connected. So if you look back at computer, you'll notice that, let's see, W, this is my ITAP drive. It's myhome.itap.purdue.edu, and I've forgotten how much space they give you. It says free space 49.1 terabytes, but I don't think that's my actual quota or what I'm allowed. You'll notice that now also my ECN drive is available as well because I've connected via VPN. You can't connect to either one of these drives unless you have the VPN connection running already. Okay? Now, to set up this drive, the last address you need is this one. It's engineering.purdue.edu/ecn/support/kb for knowledge base/docs/mapping ECN drive Win7. That's the one I chose because I'm running Windows 7. If you're running Windows 8 or 10 or Mac OS 10, you can click on one of these other links and they'll have instructions there to show you how you do it. Now, I'm not sure exactly what server name you will need to use. I don't know if it's the same as the one I used. Greg helped me set it up, who's a representative for ECN. You'll notice down here in step 4 it says when you contacted ECN. So you may have to contact the Engineering Computer Network support to figure out exactly what your server name should be. But I think it's going to be something.ecn.purdue.edu. So contact them before you start this process for connecting that particular drive. But once you get that information, you should be able to follow this guide and set up your network drive. Once you do all of that, then when you go into GoRemote, well, here, I'll go ahead and show you. I'll go back to GoRemote. It should let me in because I didn't log out. I'm going to start Solidworks back up. And you see all the stuff that's available here. There's quite a bit. Let's see. I think I can just scroll down. I don't have to search for it. There it is. So we'll start up SolidWorks again. So again, I'm just starting SolidWorks on a remote server now. And it'll take a minute. But what you'll see is that I'll have access to both of my network attached drives. So both my ECN drive and my ITAP drive. If you look in it, you'll see I've got several things. I'm interested in Amiga computers, so I've got Amiga hack links, and that's just hardware hacking and things on the old Amiga computer day in college. I've got a bunch of different files here. We'll look for those and see if they actually exist. In fact, it may be more interesting to look for, I don't know if I have any SolidWorks files on that drive, or on my ECN drive for that matter. Let's see. I've got so much junk, I don't know what I've got in here. Anyway, we'll look in just a minute and see that at least this folder structure matches what's over here. So we'll say yes, just keep going. Journal file could not be created. Another session of SolidWorks may be running. That's fine, I don't care. There we go. So let's just say I want to open a file. So I'll hit open. Now if I go to my ECN folder, you see 213 Excel, Arch, false work, and that matches what I've got over here in my ECN file. So if I were to upload something to this drive, this network attached drive, or this mapped network drive, it would appear over here because it's the same drive. And similarly, if I were to go to my W drive or my ITAP drive, you notice I've got Amiga Hacks, Day in College. Let me show you that that matches as well. There's my home directory. So there's Amiga Hacks, Day in College. You see that all this matches. So now I can access my stuff. And if I have something on a thumb drive or a hard drive, I can just throw it into one of these mapped network drives and then pull it up in SolidWorks through GoRemote. So it's a really nice system. It works really well. I haven't seen it run slowly on any platform. Like I said, my laptop here is several years old, but runs great. So good luck with the software, and do peruse the rest of the titles that are available. You may find something very useful there.